Good afternoon on what is a bright, clear and breezy day. It is Friday, the 25th of February. I'm back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a pile of boxes to unpack. And the next thing on my list, let me see, what shall I have a look at? Let's pull something out of this big box. I'm going to move these. Just sort of like so you can see I've already been into this box. Let's see how far I'm going to delve down. Okay, and I have pulled out several things. Yes, so I've pulled out already things like the John Carter of Mars dice set. So this is a big box of stuff from Modiphius, so more of that, and the landscape cards and the character cards and so on. So just the bits and pieces. There are a couple of things I don't have for it, but pretty much brings my John Carter of Mars collection to a complete. So that. But let's find out. Let's see what else I've got in here. Oh, that's big. So I've got Conan the Thief, which I've already looked at. So the next one, let's have a look at Conan the Mercenary. I've got to open this, but let me see. Welcome to the battlefield. I'm a mercenary. I sell my sword to the highest bidder. I never planted wheat and never will, so long as there is other harvest to be reaped with the sword. The Hyperborean Age is a time of incessant war. The armies of kings and queens cannot master the battlefield alone, and the task is left to those sellswords who trade blood for coin. In Conan the Mercenary, the battlefields are yours to kill for and to die on. Join legendary mercenary companies, support revolts, or fight for the throne. It matters not the motive for war. Gold is the wage for your blade. The jeweled thrones of the earth tremble when mercenaries mass against them, and citizens pray to their gods when those self-same killers are out of work and turn to banditry. In this age, the records of war and battle are mankind's only testament, and names are written on the annals of history in blood. Join your dog brothers and sword sisters on the fields of battle and take your pay in gold and glory. Offers new archetypes, talents and equipment, allowing you to create your own mercenary characters and companies, all with the skills needed to conquer your enemies. And a gazetteer covering locations of Conan's world where rulers attempt to take and maintain the thrones, and mercenary armies are the forces that make the difference. Inside are details, guides to Koth, Ophir, Shem and Coraja. Learn the ways of the mercenary, sieges, battles, victories as well as defeats, and the time spent carousing in between. Write-ups of Conan the Mercenary, Tsothalante, Parias, Prince Elmeric, Princess Yasmela, Thurga Khotan, and monstrous foes such as the Nightmare Mount, Iron Statues, and Satha the Old One. All new system for mass battles. Command the very troops that live and die in the profession of arms. Stunning art and maps produced by a worldwide renowned Conan artist, developed with the leading Conan scholars. This is war as Howard depicted it. Savage, unforgiving, and heaped in both gore and glory. Now this is for the 2D20 system. Which provides a pretty good, decent system for and consistently coherent system for playing in Conan, and it's one of the best treatments so far of the setting. Some people I know say the system's a bit crunchy for it, but I played it a couple of times and really enjoyed it. So, what have we got in this supplement? We've got a nice piece of art showing Conan in action. And this is, you can see it on the front, but one of the things that I've begun to see the Modiphius Entertainment do is they take that front cover artwork and they put it inside. Other publishers do it in it, but you've got to see, you can see it in its full glory. Inside we have so Conan the Mercenary is explaining the background to mercenary actions in the period. And we've got a nice bit of scholarly conceit here about, somebody in this day and age, or whenever Howard was writing, obviously the 30s, and doing a bit of scholarly research upon the Conan's period in ages past, and then we explore options for characters, so mercenary casts and stories, and these are the elements that go into building a character. And to support that, we have things like discussion of things like mercenary events and encounters and so on. So mercenary homelands, it starts here, the mercenary casts and mercenary stories, and we have a table there of born soldier stories table there before we get in, as well as child of camp follower stories. We've also got mercenary natures, and these things are basically building the fundamentals of the sort of the base elements of your background. So we've got mercenary archetypes, and these are supported here. You've got full explanations. So Asheri, captain, it's going to fall down, and that has fallen down. Brilliant. It's not board game books falling down. It's books. So let's pick that back up. Too many things in plastic sliding off each other. So captain, champion, messenger. These are the basis of the characters. These are the archetypes that you build that background on, and take it forward. And then we've got unseasoned youth and veteran. So those are all options if you want to play soldiers. Then we get into mercenary educations, which is dealing with the actual individual war stories, and I've got a table of events to go with that. And personal belongings, garments, weapons, and provenance, and mercenary names, tables for that, and then mercenary talents. So we've got little talent trees for the characters. So the veteran will be voluntary talent gets veteran, and then Tales from the Ale House, second home, a jest, just a jest, a little luck and a lot of experience, a luck of old age, and pillage. And again, it does that again and again for the different archetypes. Just I've got exotic melee weapons. Basically, the great thing is I love about if you're role playing, you can take these are siege engines, but you can take exotic melee weapons. We've got a table that was siege engines. So the exotic melee table. So exotic melee weapons table. We have Manic Catcher, Repeating Crossbow, and Swordbreaker. So then we've got big tannin steel qualities and effects, so you can have special weapons. And the interesting thing about if you're a role-playing character, you can make your character stand out a bit by having a different weapon. You can individualise him. I've done that before when playing Legend of the Five Rings, and my character's travelled far away and has come back with a Urimi, which is a flexible sword. If you get a chance to see those on them in action on YouTube, do so. But it's like playing with the metal whip. And then we've got background on the realms. So let's guess it here. So we've got Karaja. And that's the city of Karaja. And so this is backgrounds, just sort of general backgrounds of the area, enough for the GM to build on. Koth and its history. I've got a map here of the city of Korshemish. I'll show you that in a second. So we deal with the cities of Koth, and here's the map of the Korshemish. So these are set up as sort of like areas of conflict suitable to get the characters involved in battles between them, and it's doing the same thing with up here. In each case, you've got a nice little map of the region. Not a lot of detail there, but enough just to get a broad feel of it. And then we get into Shem. Where we've got the gleaming city states of Shem, including the city of Ascalon. Again, I really think decent illustrations to come in this book. That's quite a nice one, a bit of scale and a sense of, just how tall, how these cities are different. And then let's see what we got next. Events. Big chapter of events, and this covers things like war between kingdoms, internecine warfare. I mean, just a few paragraphs each. Barbaric raids, religious upheaval. Then we get into natural events, so plague, natural disaster, and famine. All of which come about as the result of conflict. And then we've got events related to Conan. So the supplement is also tying its contents back into his story, and we've got more background, the rise of a sorcerer, return of a god, and these again events you can sort of like frame encounters with, and then encounters, so dog brothers and sword sisters, and stats for them, free company mercenaries, gothic knight, Karajan soldiers, all ready to bring to the table. So various different types in here. So a white company mercenary, toughened there. Monstrous horrors and foes. We have Iron Statue, Living, Nightmare Mount, and essentially, there's something. They've got an evil camel. That's got to be an evil camel. I mean, they already have a reputation for being evil, and then got a war elephant. So, of course, when you finally get into battle, you've actually finally seen the elephant, as they say. Various NPCs, so King Kossus of Kraja and Prince Kutamun. Again, they're toughened foes, full stats there. So the player characters can encounter them. So lots of different NPCs. And then we get into, here they came Conan, and here a little bit more background to him and his stories when he was a mercenary. Before we get into the mercenary way, and so we've got a full stat sheet for him during this phase of his life, and then the mercenary way, and that's dealing with things like camp followers, and so on, and life in camp, and things like the nostalgia being basically a section on nostalgia, essentially. This is actually not a booth in combat, it's a traumatic, no matter how hardened soldiers become. While some few will never know the dreams of war and irons that visit many veterans, others still succumb to its worst terrors. Soldiers call this nostalgia, and it represents the aftershock that darkens the knee-in, slumps the soldiers, and causes soldiers to go mad. So that's an interesting take upon it. You're really looking here at sort of like the Conan equivalent of PTSD. And I've got mercenaries at the gaming table, got something to do with their ill-gotten gains, their loot, and their pay. We've got example free companions, white company, sample mercenary companies discussed as well. And then things as handling sieges. So you can have ransacking events and looting the battlefield, looting a city, carousing as a mercenary, so you can mercenary trouble and mercenary carousing events. And the thing is, you can use these in two ways. You can use these to throw at your mercenary characters, and then you could have them, as events which involve other people. Mercenary adventures, so discussion of what you can do, what sort of campaigns you can run with such characters. whether that's securing prisoners, rescues, banditry, excursions into the weird, cursed ruins, ancient battlefields, abandoned fortifications, and the like. So there's a bit of a wall of text at the end here. It's just not too bad actually, because you've got plenty of illustrations throughout. And then finally you've got battles, and here's the rules for handling mass combat in Conan, an Age Undreamed of. And that's quite actually relatively short. You typically go through all the skills you need, the resolution, how to get involved, narration, battles the hard way, quick heroic actions, and non-player characters and heroic actions, and then we've got a sample mercenaries here at the end. So yeah, if you are looking for, essentially if you're looking to round out your Conan selection, then yeah, you definitely want to add this to your library. Great thing about this is that these are really the Conan series, the role-playing game, is keying off the books. So when you've got Conan the Mercenary, it's talking about Conan's time during that period, and then it's building on that for game content. So that's Conan the Mercenary from Modiphius Entertainment. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box and a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge, all accompanied by, of course, a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'm back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.